Good evening, everyone. We are coming at you a minute early, hoping to get some people on the live stream before we start getting into a whole bunch of the normal stuff. If you guys are new to the channel and watching this in reruns, so to speak, my name is Kip, and this is America Bumper to Bumper. Car Chat with Kip. We go over all sorts of different things, news stories, show you guys some pictures of stuff that I find a little interesting. We're going to go over some of the stats for the channel. Maybe go into some Facebook stuff because we've grown a bit there. Talk a bit maybe about the ice time trials. If you guys haven't watched those videos yet, we'll talk to you a little bit about what goes on there and kind of, to the best of my knowledge, how they do it and what we how actually really cold it was doing that. We're now at a little past 7:30, so let's get into it. We're going to start with the channel info. And we'll do subscribers, and then we'll talk about views that I've been getting over the past 48 hours and whatnot. So we currently are sitting at 280 subscribers, which is up from last week by, I don't know, 4 or 5, I think. See if analytics will tell me that. Over the last week.
That wasn't you. That was the
yeah. So over the last week, we've picked up about 4 subscribers, which is very cool for me. That's not doing a whole lot of extra stuff, which is pretty cool. Top videos for the last 48 hours. We have had 18 views in the last 48 hours for the latest of the SCCV's time trial number 4 video, the Roxor review and test drive. That's well over 23,000 total views that I've had for that video. So that is by far my most successful video. At 15 views, we've had the JDM Honda Civic video that I did June 9th of 2017. So that's all coming up on 2 years old. That's got 6,000 views. So I'm very happy about that as well. And then we've got some other stuff that's further down there. So that's where we're sitting at with YouTube. The SCCV's Ice Time Trial videos have been doing very well over the past week. So I'm gonna try to get to at least another one of those. We are starting to get into some March is when we're going to really get into some car shows that will be starting, I believe, down in Connecticut area. There's a few car shows in March that we're going to try to get to. So that will be very happy to get back into the car season. And let's now jump into some news. So the Toyota Supra, new one that is coming out in 2020, there's been a lot of derision, a lot of people that really don't like the looks of it. But the very cool thing that's starting to happen is there are people out there that are starting to render what the car would look like as other things: convertible, shooting brake, off-roader. And I think there's one other I'm going to show you. But these are, I think, are really damn cool. And if Toyota would make these, it would, I think they'd have some pretty cool hits on them. So let's turn the camera around, and we're going to start it off with this off-road version that some guy, let's see, Rain Prisk, I think is the guy. I think that looks really cool. Way better than the car that showed up at the Detroit Auto Show. Next version. Hey, Nacho. Yeah, I would buy that thing for sure. Yeah. Next up is the shooting brake version. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. An off-road version, but it looks really, really cool. Shooting brake, so kind of like the Z4, the original Z4 coupe that BMW did. Doesn't look too bad. See if it does a front end. No, they don't show the front end of that one. So, but pretty cool. I like it looks like it's a little bit more of a wide body on this, but pretty cool again. And next up, we have the convertible, which this is X-Tomy Designs. This one should be a real easy car for Toyota actually to put out, because it is based on the new BMW Z4, and that car only is a convertible. So again, it seems pretty logical that yep, I do see Miata in there. It is. I don't think it looks quite as good in convertible form, but doesn't look all that great to begin with, in my humble opinion. What the car would look like if it looked more like previous generation Supra. This is Roman Maya. Maybe, I'm sorry if I get that wrong, that did this render. This one looks a whole lot better. I like the front end. I don't like something I didn't like with the other one, with the new one, is how they kind of break it up too much in the front here. But this looks pretty damn killer. And I do also like the wing in the back. All right. Staying with, how about a sport truck version? That would be another very interesting thing to see. If I do come across any sport versions, truck versions, I will do it. At least Toyota has a chance to not completely screw up they definitely could have done better. Super Ute. Oh, yeah, definitely cool. So I talked last week about the Toyota 86 Subaru BRZ twins, and how a Japanese magazine had said that they are going away, and that Subaru had refuted that, saying, no, we're keeping the BRZ. It's got a place in our lineup. Now Toyota is reaffirmed that there will be a next generation Toyota 86 coming to us. And according to this report, which was from Motor1.com, 2021, I believe, is when. Let me just. Yep. Could be as soon as 2021 when we get the new car. And they will definitely, have the 86. They want the 86 to be a kind of version, stepping stone towards the Supra. Rumors right now are indicating that the car is going to come with a 2.4 liter flat four from Subaru. Might be turbocharged, which I really think that they should do a turbocharged version, because that's the thing I think that was really lacked on the Toyota 86 BRZ twins, is they could use just a little bit more horsepower. If it does come with the turbocharged engine, they're looking at probably around 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. And they're looking at making it seating positions and everything a little bit lower, so better center of gravity, so better handling for the car as well. Another kind of rumor is that Toyota is going to do a farewell edition of the current model sometime before it bows out for the new car. There is a picture here of a rendering of the 2021. Doubt it's what it's going to look like, but I'll let you guys take a look. If it does look like that, it could be very interesting. I really highly doubt it's going to, but not too bad. All right. To some truck news and stuff. Fiat Chrysler has just announced their fourth quarter profits for the company. This Autoblog looks like the oldest Eclipse. Yeah, that's that I think was a huge mistake by Mitsubishi naming an SUV the Eclipse. But hey, a whole nother story. Anyways, back to Fiat Chrysler. Total year profits for the company rose 61% on the heels of the new Ram 1500 and Jeep Wrangler. Fiat Chrysler on Thursday reported quarterly net profits of 1.29 billion euros, which translates into $1.46 billion, compared to 804 million euros in 2017. So they are doing. They did well in North America. They did not do well in China. They lost money in Europe. Yeah. Wouldn't you love to have profits up 61% and make nearly $2 billion or $1.5 billion? I'd be happy with 10 or 15,000, let alone anything like that. Europe lost ground. Latin America did well. North America did well. Europe not so good, and Asia not so good. But they still came out with a really nice profit. And it says the final thing here, which makes me want to try and get a job in the auto industry. Based on company earnings last year, 44,000 unionized U.S. auto workers will get a $6,000 profit-sharing check. That's 500 more than last year, but it doesn't. It's smaller than Ford and GM, where GM announced that its employees were getting a $10,000, almost $11,000 bonus, and Ford employees were getting a $7,600 bonus. I wonder if laid off employees are going to get that, which I highly doubt, but holy moly, that's a lot of money. Sticking with Jeep, or not Jeep, the trucks and Fiat, whatnot. I don't know if you guys have seen the 2019 Fiat stands for Fix It Again, Tony. Yes, and Mopar parts are pricey. Do agree with that. So I don't know if you guys have seen the new Dodge Ram. Ram. I forgot they moved it off to its own company. 2019 Ram 1500 multi-function tailgate. So you can see here, it is a 40-60 split tailgate, or it goes down all as one. And you can kind of see here, you got the line where it splits. I'm trying to decide whether that's going to be really helpful. They are saying from the reports that I read that these doors, when they are opened, are not gonna affect your trailering abilities. They will not hit your trailer or mess with what you're doing there. I'm maybe I think I've seen some trailers that have some pretty short necks on them, and I don't know. We'll see. But Dodge is doing those. Good for loading those horses. Yep. So anyways, Dodge is doing this to compete with GM's, not GM, but GMC's new multi-function series Sierra Multi Pro. So you got your main normal tailgate folds down, then section that's right here. You can kind of see the body lines right here. That folds down, so you have space for smaller stuff in the bottom. But if you're bringing 8 or 10 foot sheets of plywood, whatever, you can have this down and it'll fit here. It also has this stop, for lack of a better word, so you can have your wood bump right up against there, so they won't fly out when you stop. Same thing with the tailgate fully down. You have the ability to put this stop up, or you can fold it down, and it is a step that'll help you get into the back of the truck. And if you want to pay, I believe this is an extra money on it, but you can hook up can you use your sound system here, because you got 2 speakers here, and then have a party in the back. Kind of like a mullet. Business in the front, party in the back. Anyways. So what do you guys think? Which one do you like better? GMC Sierra Multi Pro or the Ram 1500 multi-function tailgate? I'm kind of leaning towards the Sierra just because it looks like you get to do some have more options there, but I do like the barn door function. Actually, these things remind me a lot of the station wagon tailgates from like the 70s and 80s, where you could swing them out, you could fold it down. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I do. I don't know. Maybe the Dodge is starting to grow on me. Where we are next. Also in Chrysler, Ram, Fiat, whatever you want to call it, news. I'd take either. Sadly, trucks are so expensive now. I can't afford one. Yeah, I mean that's it's insane the amount of money that. Fake wood grain. Yes. I actually owned a station wagon. It was a 91. It was or 92. It was after the body change on the Caprices in the 90s. We had a full size station wagon. I owned it in the mid 2000s, I think. But that had the tailgate that you could open either way. It also had the fake wood grain on the side. I love that thing, and unfortunately it just rotted out around me and couldn't afford to get the body going again. So Fiat Chrysler CEO, this headline says he'll build a mid-size Ram pickup if he can figure out how. They already did. They figured out how to do it with a Jeep. It shouldn't be that hard to translate some of that stuff over to, the Ram. But they are, because right now the mid-sized truck market is one of the hottest segments in the auto industry. Chevy was out for a while, and just came back in 2015. The Ford Ranger's been out for quite a while. It's coming back this year. The Tacoma has seen their sales jump 24% in 2018, which tells you just how hot that market is. Even the Nissan Frontier, which that's been around for 10 plus years, I think it is, saw a sales increase over last year. It would be absolutely insane, very stupid in my opinion, for Dodge not to figure out how to bring, whether they call it the Dakota still or whether they call it something else. It's stupid of them not to do it. Or just let Jeep, the Jeep Gladiator, take up those sales numbers and not really worry about it. But I think there is a market for that, and I think that's where you're going to get your less priced trucks. But even these trucks are insane when it comes to trucks. Only domestic for me, not a fan of imports. Yep, I do agree. The Tacoma isn't bad. I've driven a few of those back in the days when I was selling for Toyota. They aren't bad, and it was basically because it's all you could get. I don't think I've ever liked the Frontier. The styling never was really up to the competitors, which for the most part was just the Tacoma. I really like the looks of the Colorado, especially the ZR2. The Ranger is okay. I absolutely, I've said it before, I'll say it a bunch more times. Love the Gladiator. If I had the opportunity to buy one, which with my credit history and the lack of employment won't happen, I would absolutely love to have the new Gladiator. If Dodge brought back the Dakota and it was decent priced and had good features on it, I'd consider that too. But I'm a GM guy first, and Jeep would be the next. I mean, if I'm going out to buy something, I have got the money, I'm getting the Jeep first. But generally, I am a GM person. So yeah, it'd be interesting, hopeful that they actually can do this. Now for a fun little story, this is going to be a kind of a guessing game on your guys' part. This story is all on the 50 fastest speeding tickets. Yeah, never late than never. Yep. Hey, Jason, how are you? Don't worry about being late. Sorry I missed your live stream last night. Got wrapped up into something else. So what we're going to be doing is I'm not going to go through all 50 of these, but this is the 50 fastest speeding tickets in the state of Texas in 2018. Like I say, I'm not going to go through them all, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the speed and let you know whether it's a car or motorcycle, and you guys can kind of guess to see what you think it made that hit that speed. So the fastest speeding ticket in the state of Texas in 2018 was 166 miles an hour in a 75 mile an hour zone. This happened back in June at 10:20 in the morning. Hellcat? Wrong. It is a German, I'll give you that, a German car. Anyone want to guess? I'd say a supercar of some sort. And not what I would call a supercar. That was not a BMW either. A 2003 Porsche 911. Not even 10:30 in the morning, and somebody's going 166. Dang. Next up, 162 miles an hour in a 75. This happened on April 4th. And this is a two-wheeled vehicle. Just Test drive. I would love to do that test drive. Just give the name of the company. Don't worry about a specific. But anyways, it's a two-wheeled, older bike actually. Ninja? Nope. Ninja is a Suzuki, I think, right? No, Kawasaki. Sorry. Yeah, I had to think about it for a minute. Yeah, Porsche fanatics would argue that a 911 is a supercar. Um, nope, and nope. On the bike, it was actually a 1994 Honda motorbike. Porsches, if you're talking about a GT3 or GT2 RS or whatever, yeah, I'd say those are. But if it's just your run-of-the-mill 911, All right, third fastest speeding ticket is 160 miles an hour in a 65. Ouch. That also happened in April of last year. Another motorbike. This is a 2008 bike. We'll do this one more time, and I'll just read through what the rest of them are, so you guys don't have to, try and guess everything. Harley. That would be cool to see a Harley doing a $160. Those Harleys, I know they can, do 160, but they're not what I think of when I think of high speeds. This one was a '08 Suzuki GSX. Number 4, we had 156 miles an hour in a 65 on a 2000 Honda motorbike. Hayabusa, yeah. Number 5 is a 156 and a 70 from a Honda CBR. Yeah. 6 was 150 and a 65 by a 2013 Ford F-150. Oh. That had to be, in my opinion, has to be something that was maybe a Hennessy F-150 or a Roush F-150, because that seems pretty fast for an F-150. Number 7, 150 and a 65 on a 2018 Kawasaki ZX6. Wasn't a Coyote, no. Oh, when did they start putting Coyotes in the Ford trucks? Number 8, 147 and a 75 Dodge Challenger. 2010? Okay. Number 9, 147 and a 65 in a 2015 Chevy Camaro. And number 10 is 147 and a 75, a 2016 Ford Mustang. So, in this one, Ford Mustang and the Camaro were tied with number 10 and number 9. Driver states another vehicle was messing with him for the Mustang. I don't think that's a good excuse, but what do I know? All right. Don't know if you guys have seen these pictures floating around the internet yet or not. I saw these, and I don't know what to think about them, but I think they look kind of cool. This is a new style truck topper that a company out of Michigan has developed. Try and give you that Mustang look from the side here with your louvers. Yeah, it's kind of an oddball sort of thing. This is what was floating around the internet, the one when I first saw it. Needs mullet too, yeah. So, a company called Michigan Vehicle Solutions. Yeah, that's definitely party business in the front, party in the back. They Michigan Vehicle Solutions is known for all sorts of aftermarket products for vehicles, and um, the owner of the company decided to develop this topper because he wanted something different than just your normal. Hey, Pete, thanks for showing up. Um, yeah, so they developed this topper because it's something different and something that nobody apparently has ever done. Um, Wanted it to do something different than your normal tonneau cover or the your square normal caps, and they decided to develop this thing that looks like, I guess, a Mustang. That's what they were saying, but opened. It looks kind of like that, so you can, yeah, you guys are on the same wavelength, Pete and Jason. I don't think it's really worth. I don't think it's worth it. Yes, it looks kind of different, and it's something that's kind of interesting. But when you get down to the price tag, and I don't know how much they go for, toppers normally go for, but gosh, could have swore I saw somewhere where it had a price on here. Yeah, yeah. But I want to think. Oh, here we go. It's just like your normal, topper, clamps on with bed, industry standard bed clamps. No modifications are needed on your part. But for $4,000, there's another picture of what it looks like. I just don't see the real use for it. I mean, yes, you get a little bit extra space up in here, but you're not doing anything better than what you see there. And I just I don't see it. I don't get it. But I'm sure there's people out there that love it and will buy it up all over the place. I'll do that. They have a real $4,000. What is the normal cost for a topper? Is $4,000 a good price for a topper? A junk at work, painted or unpainted? That's a good question. I don't remember reading in there whether it was. Oh, good. I'm glad you're joking. Classic rides, because that was yeah. Thanks for stopping in, junk for work from work. I really appreciate you taking the time. Sticking with the kind of Ford theme that we're just on there. The 2019 Ford Ranger has already had its first recall, and they have just barely been brought to market. Ford Ranger is undoubtedly one of the new model year's most hotly anticipated new trucks, but just as the first wave of these new mid-sized pickups are arriving on dealer lots, the model is already finding itself under recall for a potential shifter interlock problem. So Ford announced Wednesday that the wiring from the truck's PRNDL shifter bezel, which displays what gear the transmission is in, could prevent the shifter interlock override from operating properly. As a result, the car may stay in neutral or pop out of gear when the car is off and no foot is on the brake pedal. They aren't, so it's a rollaway risk. They are not saying that there's been any injuries from this sort of thing, and it only affects 3,500 Rangers in North America. 3,000, yeah, $2,500 painted. Okay, that's yeah, $4,000's way too much for something like that. So 3,000 U.S. models and 500 in Canada of the new Rangers are in this recall. So if you're lucky enough to have one of these, you might want to go get that checked out. Another recall news, we have the Mazda MX-5, the 2016 to 19 MX-5 Miatas with automatic transmissions because of an electrical problem that can cause the cars to suddenly lose power and potentially result in a crash. 14,000 cars are affected, and they are unaware of any crashes or injuries related to the issue. Vehicles recalled 14,370 for model years 16, 17, 18, and 19 with automatic transmissions. A software problem in the transmission can cause an unexpected downshift, which may cause the vehicle to slow abruptly. What dealers are going to do is update the software, and hopefully that will, fix their problems. And Mazda owners are asked to call their Mazda's office to see if anything, if their car is part of that. I think I'm going to retire and sell all my cars. No. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sell all my cars because I like driving too much. This is kind of sad news for any of you that are NASCAR fans. I don't think I'm not sure of how many people are fans of the 97 Tanner Berryhill car, but this is a really sad story because Obakaya, I believe. Here, they do nothing but take up your money. True that. I believe it's called Obakaya Racing. Held an event at the NASCAR Hall of Fame on Wednesday to announce its sponsorship for the Daytona 500. Team brought a black number 97 car at the Hall of Fame and proudly displayed the company that was set to be on the car in the team's attempt to make the February 17th race. Yet, when the 500 entry list came out on Wednesday, the 97 car was nowhere to be found. It was a bit odd. Cheaper and safer. Sure. And now that the haulers are starting to show up to Daytona, Obakaya's hauler is nowhere in sight. And unfortunately, in a release, I guess, due to a variety of circumstances, the number 97 Toyota Camry will not be entered into the 2019 Daytona 500. So it's kind of a egg in the face for them to. Never been a fan of Rowdy Round. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I used to, back in the days when you had, all the drivers are good, don't get me wrong, but when you had people like Earnhardt and you had people like Jeff Gordon's kind of whatever, but they had more, when the cars were more stock than not, was when NASCAR was interesting. Now it's just it doesn't get me anywhere. I actually prefer, if it's not drag racing, I much prefer IMSA racing, because at least those cars look somewhat like what you can buy in a showroom. But anyway, like the old Impala, yes. Oh, those were the days back when they had the Aero Montes. And what do you say about Jeff Gordon? Jeff Gordon, unfortunately, never, he was not the, a driver that I got behind. I'm sorry. Nothing against Jeff Gordon. He was a really great driver. But just not my, If I had to go with somebody, and this is going to start a huge thing, is I'm kind of a Jimmy Johnson driver, fan more or less. But even that, give me a Dale Earnhardt or a Rusty Wallace or a Bill Elliott, back of those guys. That's look like a Stewart fan. Thanks. All right, so next up, wild muscle car paint colors from the 60s and 70s. Now, I want you guys we're going to take a minute here, and I want you guys to throw out who you think. Davey Allison, absolutely. Yep. The 80s, early 90s, those drivers, the whole sport was redneck NASCAR war. Yeah, we can get into that. Yeah, when I make it up to car show in the fall, we can lay down and really go at it with I don't care about NASCAR, so you win. Gordon's great. Okay, so I want you guys to think about back the 60s and 70s wild colors. It is absolutely a different series now, no doubt. Who was the first car company to throw out the really wild colors in the late 60s, early 70s? Hey, neighbor Meg, thanks for stopping in. We really appreciate it. Dodge Chrysler, Plymouth. No. Dodge Plymouth. No, you guys are wrong. At least according to this report. This is from Hot Rod. Got to be a Dodge. Wrong. Nope. And again, this is Hot Rod that's saying this, not something that I came up with. But they say that the original company that came up with wild colors was actually Mercury. And the color that they're saying is the wild one, called Calypso Coral. Let's see if I can... Someone got paid to write that one? Yeah, probably. Let's see if I can figure out what Calypso... I can't remember how to spell. I can't spell very well. Calypso Coral. Copy. Paste. All right. Calypso Coral, according to, this is PPG, as you can see there, that was the first whacked out wild muscle car color. It was on the Montego series of cars, and it was 1968 when that started. I think they were wrong. They have to go back to Ford. First. True. Ford was the first to paint a car. However, black is not wild. Actually, it said that in the story is that Henry Ford claimed any customer can have a car painted any color he wants as long as it's black. But according to this, Calypso Coral on the 68 Montego was the first wild color. And then it goes through a whole list of the compared to nothing. It is as wild as it. Yeah, that's very true. Right, that you are absolutely correct. That the colors that everybody thinks of are the Mopars, Torrid, Hemi Orange, the High C, Go Mango, Lemon Twist, Top Banana, Sublime, Limelight, Plum Crazy, yeah. Moulin Rouge / Pink Panther, Sassy Grass Green Go. Yeah, that's definitely where everybody thinks. But they do, Hot Rod does say that Mercury, Ford were the first with that Calypso color. Whether you agree with me or not, take it up with Hot Rod. Um, they're saying that not everybody had any, bunch of wild colors before then, but Shelby, also 68, had some interesting colors. Um, Three special oranges, a special green, and a special red. But then they also had Grabber Yellow, Grabber Blue, Grabber Orange, Grabber Green, and Competition Red, which was, I guess, Calypso Coral. My Cordoba was plum crazy. Oh, huh. Cancel your subscription. I haven't had. I don't. That's a very good question. Do you guys actually still have subscriptions to any of your magazines? I know I don't. I get everything online now, for better or worse. All right, and yeah, I think the last time I had a subscription would be in the '90s. Um, all right. Nope. Yep. Um, so, final things, we're going to go through a few. We're not going to go through all. How many do they say here? 30 greatest barn finds of all time. We're just going to go through a few. That pile of junk right there is a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing that is rotting away in a Cuban garden. They're saying that is the number one top greatest barn finds of all time. I have to disagree, seeing that the car is not worth anything. There's nothing you can do to that car. Next car. I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures of these rolling around the internet. Dodge Daytona in an Alabama barn. There's just something about pulling up a chair and reading a mag. Yeah, it is very true. You can. And I agree. Junk from work. The 300 SLs are stunning, especially when you get to see one in person. Years ago, when I was twisting wrenches, when I was doing an internship, somebody brought in a 300 SL to the shop I was working in, and just seeing that car it was stunning. A few more pictures of this Daytona barn find, and this is a literal barn find. Greatest barn finds. I'm imagining it will be. I kind of think it is Camaro time. I know that this was bought. I think it even sold for a stupid amount of money, like 300,000. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, 90,000. All original number matching example, equipped with bucket seats, center console. Convinced to part with it. Sold it at Mecum auction in 2016 for 90,000. It's pretty rough for 90,000. And again, I don't know if you guys remember this story. Dino that was buried in a Los Angeles yard. It was actually, I guess, it used to be a swimming pool where the car was actually found. It's another kind of an interesting thing. It was a 246 GTS Dino that was stolen. Let's see, read some more of the thing here. According to police report, the car vanished without a trace, and because the story checked out, the owner claimed insurance money. Some 4 years later, two boys playing in the dirt in their backyard hit something metallic, and it was a car. Do you remember the car they buried in a time capsule? I kind of think I do remember something about that. Porsche 901 in a Brandenburg barn. The 911 might have been called a 901 had it not been a copyright complaint by Peugeot. Didn't know that. Yeah, another. A Shelby Daytona Cobra stashed in a California storage unit. Holy crap. The most bizarre and complex barn finds of all time. Donna O'Hara kept the very first Shelby Daytona Cobra received from her father, who reportedly received it from Phil Spector, tucked away in a storage unit for decades. Turning down offers to buy it and refusing Carroll Shelby himself to see the car. Holy crap. Yes, I remember reading this one as well. French entrepreneur Roger Bayon had a dream in the 50s of establishing a car museum. Finances didn't hold up. Some 50 of his 200 or so beloved motors were sold. Yep, I remember seeing something about that. Oh, yeah, look at that. Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase California Spider sold for $18.4 million in 2015. And there was Bugatti Type 57, Maserati, and a couple other cars. Yep, definitely. It was definitely several $1 million. A Ferrari 166 MM in the Arizona sun. A racing Ferrari forgotten on an Ohio trailer. This fabled GTO. Hey, Jason, thanks for stopping in. I will catch you on Thursday night, next week. Have a great night. Racing Ferrari. Another picture of the racing Ferrari. 7440 CUDA. Oh, nice car. Bugatti Type 57 in a British garage. Not bad, but nothing. This car has nothing on the Atlantique. I do remember that story, Pete, the IROC that was in a trailer. Something like 7 miles on it. I feel sorry for that car because from what I understand, the person's going to just, keep it in their garage heated, not move it, not do anything. So they have the lowest mileage, IROC ever. That car needs to drive. Yes, CUDA is definitely a bucket list for me as well. Ferrari Daytona found in Japan. One of 5 aluminum-bodied Daytonas. Yeah. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Junk from Work. Really appreciate you, holding in for nearly an hour. Take care. Land Rover. I don't know. The Missing Bullet. That is another, great one. Well, anyways, we won't go through all of them. If you are interested in looking at all this, you can go to MSN Autos. This is where I get most of my stuff. Excuse me. This is classic and sports cars. Let's see. It's a classic and sports cars. They've got a whole thing of cars for sale, classics, all sorts of stuff. Newsletter. So great thing to go and look at. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right. It's a good question. We started to talk about it in there. What is the ultimate car that you would love to find in a barn somewhere? Is it the but it is called nice. If you could find any car in a barn and you find it and it's within your price range, would it be, like your, I think, classic cars you were saying, your Cuda? What would you love to find? 69 Yanko. Very good choice. Very good choice. Me, 70 to 74 Cuda. Another really great choice. Baldwin Motion. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, any of those Copo cars, Copo, Chevelle, any of those type cars are pretty amazing. For me, gosh, I don't know. So hard to say. I love so many, those old classics. Um, I'd probably have to go with the Copo. Whether it's just Chevelle or Nova, Camaro, really doesn't matter to me. Just something that big block, little bit, little of anything inside. Just yeah. Wouldn't mind finding a Mura. That is another really great choice. Those things are, from what I understand, 70 Hemi Cuda. Yep, you guys all have some great choices there. I'll have to think about it, and I'll come up with a car and either post it on my Facebook or Instagram, and let you guys know for sure what I would want to find later on. Anyways, that's gonna, I think, do it for us for tonight. Pantera, that's another really great choice. I actually have a guy that I used to work with at that internship. He recently restored a Pantera. I am hoping that this summer to meet up with him and do a video on that car, and so hopefully we'll have that good fun sometime in the summer. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you all for stopping in. Any questions, comments, any things you would like to see me do in future live streams, put it down in the description or comments. Yeah, description. Down in the comments, and we'll do it. Have a night. Hopefully it's a good one. Later, guys.